A Swedish King's Diary, Episode 2.
In the last episode, we saw horoscopes tell the Swedish king you're finished. The Swedish king goes mad and flees the palace. The Swedish king comes back with a market girl. The Swedish king and his girl go to prison. And now we return to hear the rest of the King's Diary stories. It's me again, the diary. Hello. I ended up in the hands of Eric's son, Gustav Eriksson. After sitting with his brothers, sisters and mother in prisons in Sweden and Finland, Gustav got a chance. When he was just 6 years old, the Swedes kicked Gustavs out and said, "Go to Europe, find a patron and disappear." Gustav was no dummy. He got education. He studied at the Vilnius Academy and travelled around half of Europe. And only saw his mother again, whom he had last seen in prison 21 years later. His mother, that former nut merchant named Karin, recognised her son, and during that brief and only meeting between them, she gave Gustav me, the diary that once belonged to his father, Eric XIV. Gustav soon began running out of money, and so he sold me to a Swedish merchant living in Vilnius. That merchant sold me to the Swedish poet and historian Gregorius, who was writing a history of Sweden and thought that I would be a very suitable part of it. I began to travel alongside other manuscripts of Swedish history. I was brought to Paris by the last member of the Vasa dynasty, John Casimir.
But a dwarf in his entourage sold me again! So in the late 17th century, I ended up at a boulangerie in Paris!
In early 1673, I was found there and saved from certain destruction by the Swedish nobleman, officer and famous author of the first Swedish encyclopedia, Eike Claesson Hörland. And what did he do with all his material? Guess, he sold it. All of his historical collection was purchased by the Swedish government in 1698. And that's how I returned home. To this day, I live in the manuscripts department at Uppsala University. So whatever you may think, I've been sold so many times, I've lived longer than the king who wrote me and longer than his son, and I'm still here in Uppsala. So it looks like I'll be here long after you're gone too.